The ink is barely dry on the press release, but the Melbourne Storm locker room just felt a sudden, freezing chill that has nothing to do with the Victorian winter. In a stunning announcement that has blindsided the Purple faithful, the club has officially confirmed the departure of not one, but two of their most vital versatile weapons. Meaney&Tyran Wishart, the pair of Swiss Army knives who have kept Craig Bellamy's engine running through countless injury crises, are officially heading for the exit. This isn't just a rumor or a whisper from a player agent, it is a sanctioned double blow that marks the end of an era at AAMI Park. While fans were hoping for a contract extension, they got a farewell notice instead. The destination? A newly forming powerhouse waiting in the wings to raid the NRL's elite. The Perth Bears are officially pouncing, and they have just snatched the heartbeat of Melbourne's depth right out from under the Storm's nose, leaving a massive void that no one expected to see open up so close to the new season. Before we break down what this massive loss means for the Storm's 2026 title hopes, you need to stay on top of every roster move as it happens. Hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell to join the fastest growing community in the league. This is All Sports Updates, and we are your #1 destination for every breaking headline and inner circle scoop. Your support keeps us on the pulse of the game, so don't miss our next deep dive into the league's shifting power balance. The loss of Nick Meaney is a particularly jagged pill for Storm fans to swallow, especially given his role as the club's primary goal kicker and ultimate safety net. Since his debut in purple back in 2022, Meaney has transformed from a Canterbury cast-off into one of the most consistent and reliable outside backs in the entire competition. Whether he was covering for Ryan Papenhuisen at fullback or locking down a centre spot, his professionalism and high floor were constants in an often rotating backline. Storm CEO Justin Rodski didn't hide the club's disappointment, admitting that losing a player of Meaney's caliber is a significant setback for their long-term stability. The 28-year-old admitted that while the decision to leave was the hardest of his career, the opportunity to be a foundation player for the Perth Bears was simply too massive to ignore. For a man who has raised his family in Melbourne, this move represents a complete life shift, trading the familiar blue of the Storm for the red and black of the league's newest expansion threat. If losing Meaney was a strike to the head, then Tyran Wishart's departure is the body blow that leaves the Storm winded. Wishart has arguably become the most effective bench utility in the NRL, a player whose value skyrocketed during the 2025 season as he covered everything from hooker to the halves with seamless ease. His departure means the Storm are losing a player who essentially acts as three different specialists in one roster spot. The son of legendary winger Rod Wishart has finally decided to step out of the utility shadow and seek a starting role that was never going to be guaranteed behind stars like Harry Grant and Cameron Munster. The Perth Bears have reportedly promised him the number 6 jersey, a chance to finally command a team of his own under the guidance of Mal Meninga. It is a classic Storm story. Bellamy takes a hard-working kid, turns him into a star, and then watches as the rest of the league opens their checkbooks to take him away. Join the conversation in the comments and tell us, who is the bigger loss, Meaney or Wishart? This is All Sports Updates, and we are keeping you informed on the biggest transfer shocks of the year. The timing of this announcement adds a layer of complexity to the Storm's 2026 campaign, as both players are now effectively playing on borrowed time. While they have pledged 100% commitment to bringing a trophy back to Melbourne before they leave, the dynamic of a locker room changes the moment a player signs with a rival. Craig Bellamy is a master of compartmentalization, but even he will have to weigh the development of future stars against the reliability of two men who are already packed for Perth. The Storm are now forced to look internally at their pathways, perhaps fast-tracking young guns like Trent Tolau or Meaney&Tyran to fill the utility void. There is also the lingering question of the goal-kicking duties. With Meaney leaving, the pressure swings back onto Ryan Papenhuisen or perhaps a fit-again Jonah Pizet to provide that elite accuracy from the tee. The ripples of this double exit will be felt in every tactical meeting the Storm hold from now until the end of the year. Over in the West, the Perth Bears are laughing all the way to their inaugural season in 2027. By securing Meaney and Wishart, they haven't just bought talent, they have bought the Melbourne Storm DNA. Recruitment is about more than just highlight reels, it is about bringing in winners who understand the discipline required to build a culture from scratch. Mal Meninga is clearly looking to replicate the Storm's relentless professionalism, and there is no better way to do that than by raiding their roster. Meaney is expected to be the Bears' inaugural fullback and primary kicker, while Wishart will likely be the creative spark in the halves. They join other high-profile signings like Josh Curran and Liam Henry, signaling to the rest of the NRL that the Bears aren't coming to just make up the numbers. They are building a squad that is ready to compete for a top 8 spot from the very first whistle, and they've done it by picking apart the competition's most successful system. Back in Melbourne, the pressure is now on the recruitment team to find a way to mitigate this damage before the salary cap starts to tighten. The Storm have already been active, securing Jack Hetherington and Davy Mole for 2026, but those are moves for the forward pack. The backline depth is suddenly looking incredibly thin for 2027 and beyond. There are reports that the Storm are preparing a massive counter-raid on the Eels to secure Zach Lomax, a move that would certainly soften the blow of losing Meaney's strike power. However, finding a replacement for a utility as unique as Wishart is a much taller order. Players who can defend in the middle and create on the edges are a rare breed, and the Storm have just lost the best one in the business. The brutal double blow tag isn't just hyperbole, it is a reality that will force the Storm to once again reinvent themselves if they want to stay at the top of the mountain. The human element of this story shouldn't be overlooked, as both Meaney and Wishart have become fan favourites at AAMI Park. Meaney's emotional statement about his wife and 2 boys growing up in the Storm family highlights the personal cost of the NRL's professional landscape. They are leaving behind a brotherhood that has seen them through 2 grand final losses and a period of incredible dominance. The 2026 season will now serve as a long goodbye for 2 of the club's most respected figures. Fans will undoubtedly give them a hero's welcome in round 1, but there will be a bittersweet edge to every try they score and every goal they kick. The Purple Army knows that every brilliant play from this duo is now a preview of what the Perth Bears will be enjoying in just 12 months' time. It is the cruel nature of the salary cap era, where success often leads to the dismantling of the very team that achieved it. As we look toward the 2026 kickoff, the Melbourne Storm remain a powerhouse, but the cracks in their long-term depth are starting to show. Craig Bellamy has made a career out of turning next man up into an art form, and he will need to do it once again to navigate this transition. We will be watching the trial matches closely to see how the Storm begin to pivot their structures in light of these departures. The Perth Bears have made their move, the Storm have confirmed the damage, and the NRL landscape has officially shifted. Thank you for watching this breaking report on all sports updates. Make sure you like the video and share it with your mates to keep the footy talk going. Don't forget to stay subscribed for our upcoming analysis of the 2026 season opener and more breaking transfer news. We will see you in the next update. Would you like me to create a video analyzing the Perth Bears' full 2027 predicted roster, or perhaps a look at the Storm's top recruitment targets to replace the departing duo?